to ask questions. This is all about you guys. Canal Market will continue to do its efforts and we'll stay in close contact with Christie. But I'm just so grateful for you doing this for all of our vendors tonight. And I am sorry I cannot stay with you the whole time.
That's quite all right. I certainly understand it. I'm happy to be here, and hopefully this summer I'll be able to visit your market. So
we invite you out anytime. We open Friday, May 7th. So we'd love to see you. But Christie, you take it away. And thank you so much. I think Bailey may pop on and say hi to everybody here in a minute, but we really wanted it to be an open forum for our vendors. So thank you. And I hope you guys have a great session.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Michelle. And thank you everybody for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to be with you. As Michelle said, my name is Christie Welch. I lead the direct food and agricultural marketing team for OSU Extension. And so I've worked a lot over the years with farmers markets, farm markets, roadside stands, the whole 9 yards. So I was asked to share information with you about marketing online, which has become really crucial over the last year where we've been in pandemic lockdowns. But I think it's just good practice moving forward. Just a little bit more about myself. My husband and I have a small farm, so we direct market our product right from the farm. We did sell at farmers markets for a number of years, but fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we have gotten so busy here at the farm that we sell everything from the farm now. So I see somebody put thank you, Melinda. I saw your chat there. Appreciate that very much. If you've never seen me present before, I prefer that if you have a question while I'm going through something, raise your hand, type in the chat box, unmute yourself and ask your question. I feel like if we hold questions till the end, a lot of times those get lost. And I really want this to be useful for you all. So I have a lot of information and I'll just go ahead and start. I hope everybody can see the slide and can hear me okay. Can I see a thumbs up or a head shake or something?
Okay.
Great, thank you. Okay, so as I said, I was asked to talk about marketing your business online. And so we're going to talk about how customers find and view your business on mobile devices. We're going to talk a little bit about how customers use social media. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about what kinds of things that you can post about your business to help make some connections with those customers. You know, we live in a multi-screen world. Everybody's on a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop or even a desktop. How about smart TVs? How many of you guys like sit on your couch with your smart TV and surf the web or do social media or shop? That's becoming very popular. And so it's really important that you have an effective online presence. I used to say that, you know, if you didn't have a website, but you were doing a couple social media platforms well, you could get by. That has changed. And I really think it's important now that you have a website as well. Can I see if you guys are familiar with the reaction button? Can you give me a thumbs up if you have a website? 1, 2.
Not me.
Great. Very good.
I don't.
Okay.
Because I'm under cottage law, so I can't sell out of state. And so I've not, and jellies and jams are too hard to ship. So I've not done much with social media.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit why you might want to do that moving forward. And again, one of the reasons is because we're so connected anymore. We've been spending a lot of time alone, and so people are looking for those experiences, and we've had to do a lot of that connection online lately. And then the other thing that you need to think about online, and of course we all struggle with this, Michelle's having technical difficulties, Sue said hers will not support showing her video as well. speed and function, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So I just have some statistics here. I know this is a lot of information on this one slide, and I apologize to keep switching my head, but this is, I've got two monitors here, and my presentation's on the right-hand side for me. So 947 million mobile connected devices by 2020, and approximately 2.8 per capita. So we're not just on a computer, we're on a smartphone, we're on a tablet, we're on our smart TVs and those kinds of things. The other thing is wearable devices are becoming very popular. Apple Watches, Fitbits, where you can check your messages and those kinds of things. And so again, it is important to think about how people are accessing information to make sure you're connected with them. And really, if you don't have an effective online presence, you're invisible to your potential customers. And so it's really, again, more important than ever. And according to Market Landing, ad spends on Instagram was growing 4 times the rate of spends on Facebook. And we'll talk a little bit about that. For the longest time, Facebook was kind of that go-to social media platform for people to market their business and promote their products to customers. I think that's changed a little bit. If you can see 4 times the ad spend on Instagram, the thing to think about is who is your target customer and where do they spend their time? And so if your target customer spends most of their time on Facebook, spend your time on Facebook. If your target customer, maybe they spend time on Snapchat, maybe that's the one you need to think about. So it really depends on who your target customer is and what social media apps they use on which ones you want to concentrate on for your business. And again, we have more than 400 million Instagrammers every day, which just kind of blows my mind. But again, it's something to think about when you're trying to decide which social media platforms to promote your business on. But to be successful, we have to keep in mind there's 3 things that we need to think about. Is the presence, is the information I'm putting out there about my business, is it effective? Does it reflect what I want it to reflect for my business? Does it function? And we'll talk more about function. Basically, that means can the consumer find the information they want and find it quickly? And then it comes to speed as well. And sometimes we can fix that, and sometimes we just can't. And so those are things that we have to keep thinking about as we try to promote our businesses online. But you really want a presence online to, again, help your customers find and interact with you. If you're not online, you're pretty much invisible to your customers. And whether you know it or not, if you've been in business very long at all, you're probably already online, whether you know it or not. And we're going to talk about that as well. One of the other things that's really important to do when you start your website and start using your social media or continue to use your social media, is it apparent that that is your business and your brand? See here, there's a comment in the chat. Okay. I haven't been using my headphones. I'm just using my computer, but do you want me to plug in my headphones and see if that helps? Okay, let's see if that makes it better. And if it doesn't, please let me know. And what I could do is shut my video off again. Sometimes we don't have enough bandwidth to do everything we want to do at the same time. So what you want to think about when you're putting information out there about your business, is it consistent with your brand? And so things like colors, fonts, your logos, and images that represent your business are really important that you think about those when you put them out there. And so let's look at an example. If you look really quickly at this screen with these 4 different pictures on it, at first you think, well, that's 4 different businesses, don't you? But we stop and look, it's all Huber's Orchard. And I don't mean to pick on Huber's, but I am for today. Couple of things I wanted to point out about this. Here it's spelled Huber's with an apostrophe S. Okay, here it's apostrophe S. And it's winery and vineyards. Up here it's orchard and winery. Over here it's orchard and winery without the apostrophe S. And so the important thing to remember, yes, we have artificial intelligence, but a machine might not be able to tell the difference between Huber's apostrophe S orchard and winery and Huber's orchard, winery, and vineyard. The point being, the search engines might not realize that this is all the same business. So think about that again as you're putting information online. And as I mentioned, also, if you've been in business any amount of time at all, you're probably already online, whether you realize it or not. So have you ever just been searching for a service or a product for that matter? And let's say you go to Google and this business pops up and there's a little box on there that says, is this your business? Claim it. Well, if that's your business, you need to claim it so you control what your customers see as in regard to that business. So in order for you to do that, you can go to google.com/business. You can set up your business or claim your business on Google. You can curate what images are there, you can put your logo on there, information about your business. Just a word of caution. You can do a lot of this free and for yourself. You will have ads pop up that say, pay me X amount of dollars and I'll do this for you. You don't have to do that. You can do this yourself. And as far as claiming your business, it's really just kind of following the prompts that they put out there. It's really pretty simple to do. But one other word of caution as you start to do this. How do these places make money? By selling advertising, right? And so when you start to claim some of these business profiles on different platforms, what's going to happen? They're going to contact you and say, oh, we see you're on our platform. You should spend money to advertise on our platform. May be true, may not be true. But again, I just want you to be aware that you're going to get some of those calls. A couple years ago, we had a customer leave a review on our business on Yelp. And I was not on Yelp. Still not really on Yelp, but after that customer left the review, Yelp contacted me and said, hey, you guys should advertise on our platform so you can increase your business. Well, I've had a couple of conversations with Yelp, and for me, money-wise, it didn't make sense. So I've chosen not to do that. But it might work for your particular business. Again, the caution is they're going to contact you and say, hey, spend money with us. Of course, you can always say politely no. Oh, one other thing, specialized directories. So the Ohio Proud program has a directory. There's a lot of directories specific to Ohio or local foods or farmers markets that might make sense for you to list your business there as well. Many times those are free, or you need to be a member of that professional organization to be put on those directories. The big thing is, where do your customers get their information? If you have customers, try to train yourself and anybody else that works for you. When you have a new customer come to your business, ask them, hey, by the way, how'd you hear about us? Because that can give you a lot of really good information. The next thing about the internet search when you're trying to be consistent with your customers, there's a acronym, we call it MAP, that are the things that customers have said they really want. Name. So again, think about the name of your business. Is it spelled the same everywhere? Keep that in mind. A is for address. They want to know where you're located. P is for phone number. They want to be able to call you if they have a question. And then you can also do hours and directions. Now, if you have people coming to your location to do business with you, that's really important. If you do not, you can leave that off. One of the things that we do, since we're a farm and we're seasonal, like on Facebook, it won't let you say that we're seasonal. You're either open or closed, which is kind of frustrating. But just keep in mind that you have control over that information once you set up a business page for Facebook or some of these other apps. Just know that they're not perfect. Best at this particular time. But remember, name, address, phone number, and then hours and directions. Okay. Whoops, sorry about that. So again, how do customers view your business on mobile devices? So here's two examples. If you're on a smartphone, which one of these are you going to want to look at? The top right, of course, right? It's very easy to read. Down here, there's a lot of information, but if you're getting older like me, that's really hard to read and you have to pinch and scroll and all that. Nobody likes to do that. This is a much better setup. You have clicked Facebook, clicked Instagram, click to send me an email message. The other one that I like to have on there is click for directions. So I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in a car, and normally if I'm somewhere and I'm like, I'm hungry, I want to go find something to eat. If I find a restaurant on maps or whatever, and I want to be able to hit the button to say, take me there, and it gives me directions automatically. So you want to make it as easy as possible for your customers. Does your presence work for them? What are they looking for? Again, very important. I blame it on Amazon, but we've all become so used to one or two clicks to get done what we want to get done. So, if you shop on Amazon, there's that one click and it's ordered, it's paid for, and it's on its way to you. But people expect that more and more. I know not necessarily just one click, but they want it to be easy and work for them. Can your target market read the text on the screen? Again, if I'm your target market, I'm not going to be able to read this. And then what do the symbols mean? And so again, Facebook, Instagram, email, other platforms, of course, would have other little icons that you can put on your website and social media sites. The other thing that we used to talk about, we don't talk about quite so much anymore, is your website mobile friendly? So if you've had a website that was developed more than 5-6 years ago, it's probably not functioning very well for your customers. I worked with a client here several years ago that had a really extensive website, and when they first designed it, it was great. I went to their website on my mobile phone, took 7 minutes for that website to load. Now, a customer is not going to wait 7 minutes. Okay, so keep that in mind. Here's an example of where you can go to develop some websites, check and see if your website is mobile friendly. There's a lot of platforms out there to help you develop a website. A lot of them have a free version and are pretty easy to use anymore. Always when it says view it on a mobile device, make sure you do that, because still today, some things just don't translate exactly. So you might have to adjust how it looks on a mobile device. So again, only 9% of users will stay on a mobile site or app if it's difficult to navigate. That's a small number. We don't want to frustrate our customers and drive them someplace else. And 69% of smartphone users are more likely to buy from companies whose mobile sites or apps help them find answers easily. Again, can I click to call? Can I click to get directions? Are my hours and my address and the name of my business all easy for my customers to find? And so again, we want to talk about function, and that's maps and phone numbers. Now, when we first started with our website and social media a number of years ago, we were listed incorrectly on the Google map, and it took a long time. They're much better at that now, but I would have to go in and change where the pin was on the map. For me, it took me several times to do that. They kept moving it back. It's getting better, but think about that as well. Again, make sure that you have the basic information, your name, address, phone numbers, hours of operation, web logo, and then photos. Okay. And then when you go in and claim your business, you have to submit, usually you can do it by text anymore, to prove that you are a legitimate business and that you own that business. And they'll give you a confirmation that that is yours. So again, this is a good example. Click to call, click for directions, click to go to my website if I want more information. Again, speed is really important. Again, sometimes we can do that, fix that. Sometimes we can't. If you have a slow connection where you are, think about your images because those take a lot of time. Think about video because that takes a lot of bandwidth. And so it may be that you'll have to use really simple images and those kinds of things to make it work. So again, what do customers want? And this is according to a survey that Google did: fast loading, 5 seconds or less, mobile friendly features. Like I said, those click to call, click for direction kinds of things, quick access to that business information. Again, name, hours, phone number, address. And then what do you want them to do? You want them to be able to do that quickly as well. So for me, if I want them to come visit me, I want to say, open, click here for directions so that they'll come on out. Make that call to action easy for your customers to do. So here's just a little checklist. I have developed a website. Again, there are many, many platforms out there that will allow you to do that for no cost if you want. They'll have some features, and then if you want additional features, you know, you can pay a fee. But they're really pretty easy to use nowadays. Wix is one that I actually use. There's a bunch of other ones out there. Talk to other folks and ask them what they're using for their website. It's a good place to start. Make sure you view it on a mobile device. Make sure you view it on a device that is not your own. So have a friend look at it and see how it looks to them. You could have folks do that on a computer or laptop as well, tablet. You want to develop a plan to improve your site and then move forward with that strategy. And we'll talk some more about those kinds of things coming up. So how do customers use social media? And that's important to keep up with the changes. It changes really quickly. My suggestion is try to figure out where your customers are spending their time on social media and pick 1 or 2 platforms where they spend their time and do those and do them really well. Don't try to do 10 and do them poorly. For my business, it's Facebook and Instagram still. That's where the majority of my customers spend their time on mobile social media. If you have a younger audience, where are they going to spend time? Snapchat, TikTok. Okay. So again, it depends on who your customer is, on which platform you want to be thinking about. And then do you want to do paid ads? And we'll talk a little bit about that. And reviews. Reviews are huge nowadays. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Again, here's an example of social on mobile. And so the nice thing about this, logo right here, logo right here. So this is YouTube, this is Pinterest. If you have, like a lot of folks that grow bedding plants and flowers, perennials and annuals, Pinterest can be really good for you because customers love to see what they can do with your products. 12,000 and some likes on Facebook, and this is kind of old, so I'm sure there are more than that. But again, try to keep in mind the consistency. Red on black, while this is not red on black, it's still very recognizable. Okay, so think about that. Some businesses use Twitter, some do not. Again, I would think it depends on who your target customer is. Excuse me, I am not on Twitter for my business, but for some people, it could be very helpful. YouTube is another one that's huge. And so you might want to think about getting on YouTube, again, depending on your capacity, depending on your connection speeds, depending on what kind of information your customers want to see from you. But Facebook or YouTube is another one. So again, when you think about sites, which ones should you be on? And another thing I just think it's important to remember that search engines and social media, they feed you more information similar to what you've already searched for or liked. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for differing opinions or things like that, really think about that because they want to make their customers happy. And if they're showing you all this stuff in your news feed that you don't want to see anyway, well, you're not going to be happy with that. But just keep in mind, they give you more of what you've already looked at. And then I want to give a couple examples of how some people have used social media and how it's been a real win for them. So this is a couple years ago. I think it was 2017. 2013. I didn't realize it was that old. But Oreo, I guess the power went out in the Superdome during a big ball game. And Oreo tweeted out, "You can still dunk in the dark." And it was a huge success for them. And so when challenges arise, again, depending on where your customers spend their time, think about how you can take advantage of those opportunities. Blogspot, or this blog on Hootsuite, they have a bunch of different social media campaign strategies that you can go and look at. I encourage you to do that just to learn how other businesses are using social media to promote themselves. Again, why it worked, that post was retweeted 10,000 times in the first half hour it was live. And so, wow, Oreo got a lot of exposure during that first half hour when they sent that tweet out. And so, again, think about sometimes things don't go according to plan and how can we take advantage of that? My pictures are taking a minute to load here. That's weird. Anyway, I just wanted to share these because these are some fun packaging ideas that you might want to think about. Now, I know packaging can be very expensive, but wow, who's not going to be looking at you walking through the farmer's market or down the street with your hand stuck in this woman's mouth or this hunky guy on the front of this grocery sack? So think about ways that you can communicate with your customer that are kind of out of the box that we don't typically see all the time. I just thought those were fun. When we think about what to post, visual is crucial. And so when we talk about different social media platforms, of course, what are you going to post on YouTube? You're going to post videos because it's known for videos. What are you going to put on Instagram? You're going to put on pictures, images that people can share. And so it really depends on what platform you're on and what your customers want to see. But visual is very important. And so think about creating a photo library for your business so that when you are 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, I don't have time to go take that picture. You have that library that you can pull from. I will say that just on the fly images are good as well. So you want to post photos and videos. You want to make sure they reflect your brand and what you want them to reflect. You want to promote or post content. And so things like tips, trends, professional advice, or just general industry news. I know right now, a lot of people, as things are starting to open back up, want to know, well, do I have to wear my mask? Are they open for people to come into their business? And those kinds of things. So think about that current information that people want to know as well. And then a third of it should be business content. So information about your products, any projects you have going, any special sales or events that you have going on. And then real-time information. Again, events, updates. Have you changed your procedures because of the pandemic? People really want to know that. Maybe you're just out and about and you see something that kind of ties into your business and you really like it. And you're like, I was out and about and I saw this, I thought I'd share. And then community engagement is important as well. So we all want to be part of our local community, and the more we can support each other, I think the more loyal your customers will be. So some content ideas, behind the scenes photos. Keep in mind that people are so removed from food production, agriculture especially, they really don't understand the process. Don't be afraid to share some of those behind the scene photos. What are you doing in the off season? You know, if you're growing crops in the off season, there's still a lot of work to do. And so be sure to share that information and help people understand that. Photos that tell a story about your brand. And so the images of your product, do they reflect quality? Do they reflect maybe you're a fun place to be? Does it reflect fun? If it's products that people bake with or cook with, pictures of completed recipes, those kinds of things. So really showcase your products as much as possible. People love recipes. I tend to pick on meat producers a lot because when they share pictures of their product, what do they share? They share an uncooked steak. Beautiful, right? Consumers don't think of it that way. They want to see that steak cooked on a plate with a couple of asparagus spears, maybe a side salad or something like that. And really think about the images that you share about your business. Again, more information on what to do with your product and how to store it or handle it. Introduce your family and your employees. That's been very successful for a lot of businesses. Pair your product with another vendor's product if possible. So we used to grow blackberries. We don't grow those anymore because of spotted wing Drosophila. But back when we did, we had a farmer's market vendor that made the best angel food cake in the world. We had a maple syrup producer. We had a peach grower, and we grew the blackberries, excuse me. So I put together a recipe. I shouldn't say I put it together. I stole it from Rachel Ray. I gave her credit for the recipe. I tweaked it a little bit, but basically it was maple syrup, blackberries, peaches sliced up, and a little bit of lime zest, maybe. I don't know. I haven't made it for a while now. And then you spoon that over your angel food cake. And so by doing that, not only was I promoting my blackberries, but 3 other vendors at the farmer's market as well. So take advantage of that if you can. Customers really like that. And it helps them see that you're all kind of in the boat together and you can help everybody. Again, engage directly with your users. Ask them what they're doing with your product. Tell them how it's made and raised. Again, people really want to know where their food comes from and how it is raised or produced. And of course, share your location if you want them to come to your farm or business. Facebook is always changing how stuff appears in people's news feeds. And so one of the things that you may want to do is encourage your customers to see your posts first. And so there's just a little couple of steps that they need to take. So you would want to share this with your customers and say, hey, to make sure you see the post from our farm, do this on your platform. And that will help keep them connected to you. Now, the next thing I wanted to mention was paid ads versus boosting a post. So for this, I'm going to talk about Facebook, but other social media platforms have some similar types of strategies that you can employ. So again, it depends on what you want to do. So let's say that you are creating a new website, you've got it complete, and you want all your customers to know about it. And so what you would want to do is either do a paid ad or boost a post, and I'll share the difference between those to get your customers and potential customers to go check out your website. And so try to, again, be consistent. We talked about curating the images and information that you share. Use your logo on your photos if possible. Watch the amount of text. People don't like to read anymore. Does it have broad appeal, and is it good photos? And so with Facebook, you can boost a post. So boosting a post is just let's say that last week you had a picture of one of your products, you clicked it, you put it on Facebook on your page, and your customers loved it, and you got a lot of engagement, likes and shares and comments. Well, obviously that post resonated well with your followers on Facebook. So what you may want to do is boost that post. So you take that post and you hit boost post, and then you will pay, and you set the budget amount to share that same post with more Facebook users. And they have so much information. You can put demographic information, geographic information, other likes information. There's just, you can really customize who on Facebook has the potential to see that when you boost that post. Versus a paid ad, paid ads are created in Pages Manager or Facebook for Business, I think it is. Ads Manager, they change them so much all the time. I think it's Ads Manager. So you would actually go in and create a post and pay to have that shown, again, to whoever you determine that it gets shown to. So does that make sense? I know we get a lot of questions about that. It used to be that boosting was better than paid ads. I don't know that that's the case anymore. I don't think that that's as big of a difference as what you're sharing and who you're trying to get it to engage with that. Make sense? Again, paid ads versus boosting a post. You can see this corn maze, this was a boosted post, and they had over 51,000 people reached with that boosted post. Again, here's another one over here that was boosted. I know it doesn't show up on here, I don't believe, but over 45,000 people engaged with the little goats in the Christmas outfits, which of course they're cute. So what do you do, right? So think about those different things that you can do. Again, when we talk about paid versus boosting, what do you want to do? What's the goal of that marketing that you're trying to do when you're spending money? Because let's face it, all of us small businesses typically have very limited dollars and time to spend on marketing. And so Melinda says it depends on how you select your audience. That's exactly right. It depends on, as I mentioned, you can really customize who is likely to see your post when you do a paid ad or boost a post. You can do more with a paid ad than you can with a boost, but you can still do some with a boost. So things like, everybody that likes my page will see this post if it's boosted or paid. Maybe I want to try to get more people within a 20-mile radius of my physical location. And so I want to say females between the ages of 35 and 55, and they like local food, they like wine, or something like that. You can really put very detailed information in there about the demographics and psychographics of who you hope to see your post when you do those paid ads. Okay. The other nice thing too with especially Facebook, but for others, if you click create a new promotion, they're going to ask you, what do you want to do? And they'll help walk you through that. Keep in mind, they want you to be successful because they want you to keep spending money on their platform. Okay. So here's some review or resource links that you can look at: Yelp, TripAdvisor, find local foods, track customer reviews. I wanted to talk about that as well. Again, with these first ones, keep in mind, when you go in there and you claim your business or set up your business, they're going to contact you and say, pay us money. If your customers don't spend their time there, don't pay them money. Okay. Reviews are huge, right? When you guys shop, do you look at reviews? I think most people do. And reviews from our peers or other customers carry a great deal of weight when people are making buying decisions. And so reviewtracker.com is one place that you can go to look to see what people are saying about your business. And then this blog post again from HubSpot is a good way to learn of other review trackers type of information. You can set up Google alerts to track the name of your farm or your business or really whatever you put in there. A couple of things about reviews because they are so important. Don't post fake reviews on your website. And we've all have it. We get a customer that's not happy. What do? They go to our social media page and they write a comment, and usually that comment is not very nice. Do not get in a back and forth with that customer. The way I would handle it is say to that customer, so everybody can see it, I'm so sorry you had a bad experience. Please contact me directly and let's see what we can do to resolve the situation. And what you want them to do is either private message you, pick up the phone and give you a call, but don't try to get in that back and forth on social media. The other thing that is nice is your loyal customers usually will defend you. So keep it in mind. Organic reach is the reach that occurs by people naturally sharing and engaging with your post. Paid reach is the people that you contact directly through your ad. Yes, Michelle, I didn't define that very well, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. A lot more resources here, and I will share this PowerPoint so that you guys can have it, so you don't have to type all this in. You can click on it to get to some of these. Again, Facebook for business, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, chat, Snapchat. And then if you've never heard of Social Media Examiner, it's a great resource. They do everything social media. It's lots of blog posts and just learning opportunities for you. And again, it changes so quickly. It's good to have some of those resources. Now, I mentioned earlier about videos, and videos are very, very popular. YouTube, again, is growing phenomenally. You can also do Facebook Live. But if you're going to do videos, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's a Facebook Live, have a plan, have a purpose, think about what you're going to show and tell, storyboarding, know your equipment needs. Is there going to be any production or post-production needed? Okay. Again, Facebook Live, we'll talk about that. Promote. If you're going to do a Facebook Live, promote it ahead of time, whether it's a day ahead, a week ahead, a couple hours ahead. Hey, we're going to go live at X day and time. Make sure you join us. So promote the time again, and then practice. And mistakes are okay. I talk to a lot of people a lot of time, and I make mistakes all the time. So mistakes are just fine. Everybody understands that happens. And again, trying to get that interaction is really key, especially if you're doing Facebook Live. And so when we talk about, let's see, if you want to do a Facebook Live, test it first. Go out wherever you're going to be broadcasting from and see if you have cell phone service or Wi-Fi or whatever it is that you need to send that video out live. You would hate to do all this promotion and say, hey, we're going to go live, and you go to the day to do it and you hit the button and nothing happens. Or it buffers all the time, or if it just cuts out. So practice at least a couple of times with the equipment and in the location where you're planning to do it from. Okay. Again, Facebook Live, there's a button on your phone. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Facebook has great tutorials. YouTube has great tutorials. All these social media platforms have tutorials on their website. And so if you wanted to, you could stream up to 4 hours on Facebook, a couple minutes, 5 or less. I think most people, especially since we've been in this lockdown for the last year, are just really tired of looking at a video on their smart device or on the computer. So the shorter and more engaging you can keep it, the better. Again, make sure you have that reliable signal, promote your upcoming broadcast. Background noise is a biggie. And so as we noticed from the beginning of when I started doing this, and then I put my earbuds in, it makes a big difference, I think, because I haven't heard any other comments about the sound. So think about that. If you're outside and it's windy, or if there's a lot of traffic, think about how you might be able to overcome some of those challenges. And so practice and think about what it is you want to get out of this video. End your video with a call to action. What do you want your customers to do? Maybe you're not in season yet. You grow produce. It's not season yet, but you're out there planting. And so what you might want to do to your customers at the end of, you're showing them that you're planting today and, oh, this will be ready in 2 months or whatever it is, make sure you come out and see us and get yours, or something to that effect. Make sure you have that call to action. It's really important. So again, with your checklists, would location-based apps help your business? So Google Maps, Yelp, those kinds of things. You made a plan if you're planning to do the videos. You made a plan if you're going to use Facebook Live, and made a plan for enhancing your photos. Again, I can't understate the importance to have, they don't have to be professional quality photos, but there's little tips and tricks that you can do to make sure that the photos that you are sharing are reflecting what you want them to reflect about your business. And that's a whole nother topic we could spend a lot of time on. Again, practice. Ask your customers, ask your good friends what they think about some of your photos. Build that library for your products and services. So just in summary, we wanted to see how our customers find us online. How do we appear on mobile devices? Again, are we going to use social media? If so, which ones are we going to use? Do we need to have those apps and GPS? Make sure that they are sending our customers to the correct spot. And then do we need to have access to the latest apps and gadgets? You know, again, they're changing so quickly. It's important to keep up, but again, where are your customers spending their time? And that's where you need to spend your time as well. So here's my contact information. I know I shared a great deal of information and I went through this really quickly, but I did want to leave time for some questions and answers. If there's things that we didn't cover, or if you have questions about anything that we did cover today, feel free to unmute yourself, ask your question, type comments in the chat box. Questions?
Yeah, for your phone number, what's the area code?
Oh, sorry, that disappeared. It's 740. I'll put it
Okay.
here in the chat
Okay.
box.
Okay.
Thank you,
That's
Sue.
In case I need to get in touch.
Yep. We're still not back in our office, so that's my cell phone. That's the best place to reach me, that or email. I see Bailey's on here now. Hi, Bailey.
Hi, Christy. Thank you so much for that presentation. I know I jumped on about 20 minutes in, but I just wanted to thank you again. And hi to all of our vendors that are on there. I see your names and
Hi there.
you got to, hi Sue, excited you got to
Hi.
get the information. And I can say, like, I know I've seen some vendors in the past year that started at our market that didn't have like business Facebook pages before, or when they first started at the market, and now going into this year do have Facebook pages for their business. And it just is such a huge difference and opens up so many opportunities for them, and just for people to know like how to contact them, because I feel like a lot of times when I search for businesses, I go to their Facebook page before I try and look for any kind of website. So yeah, awesome. I'm here if anyone happens to have any questions specifically for me or related to the Canal Market, but otherwise I'll let you everyone else ask any questions that they have.
You make a really good point, Bailey, too. You know, when we're in season, honestly, you can spend so much time on your social media responding to, where are you located? What are your hours? When it's all right on your Facebook page and your website, people don't read. The nice thing is that these social media apps are developing tools to help. And so I can't remember if it was last year, I think it was the year before, they set up a frequently asked questions. So if you have a question that somebody either puts in your comments or messages you, it'll automatically say, if they say, when are your hours? you put the response in, the frequently asked questions, and when that question's posted, it'll automatically go to that customer. So that's a huge help. All right, folks. Well, we've got 10 more minutes and I can stay, but if there's no questions, I appreciate you putting up with me this evening. I hope it was helpful information. As I mentioned, Bailey, I will email this presentation. I don't know if you want it to go to you or to Michelle or both of you, so that they'll have links to the resources.
Yes, both of us would be great. And then if any vendors that are watching the video, the recorded video have questions, I know your contact information is on that last slide, but if I get any that I can't answer too, is it okay to pass them on to you?
Absolutely. Yep. That's a great. Now, I did just see a question here in the chat box. I'm sorry I didn't see it earlier. What are some good, inexpensive ways to determine how your customers find you? My go-to is I try to train myself, and I try to train anybody else that's involved in our business. When we see a new customer come in, and you'll get to know your regulars, but as new people come in, say, how did you hear about us? And that can tell you a great deal of information. The other thing that I'll just say is we had a couple of moms with young children that would come to our farm, and the older kids would be in school, but they'd have their younger kids. And so I found out that there are mom groups. So if moms with children are your target audience, try to get into those mom groups, because they'll spread it like wildfire if you have a good activity or product for their kids. Michelle or Melinda, excuse me, you had a question?
Well, Facebook does have a feature where if you take out an ad or if you make a post and someone messages you directly, it'll tell you on your message where that person came from or how they contacted you. And another thing about posting, the biggest advice, I do a lot of Facebook marketing. The biggest advice I can give everyone is when you post something, you try to pay attention and check on it. Don't just, if you post something, check up and see who's responding, because the more you comment or just do a smiley face or go say thank you, it refreshes your post on all of your followers' feed. So if they missed your post the first time, you commenting will automatically refresh it on their page. So it's a way to get more play.
Yeah, it's a great point. We really didn't even talk about analytics. And so there's analytics for all these platforms and Google and all those kinds of things. You do want to measure your success with the things that you're doing. But it sounds to me like you guys have Melinda and Bailey. If you have questions, it sounds like they'd be great resources for you to reach out to as well.
One other thing I'll say in relation to the market, and Michelle may have mentioned this earlier when she was on, I'm not sure, but if you post something that's about, the products that you have available right now, if you can tag the Canal Market District, Michelle usually will repost those and share. So say I see Sue, say you post a picture and say, I just made this new flavor of a jelly and jam and I'm making it this week. And Michelle might, if you can tag the Canal Market District, Michelle will probably repost it and be like, look, Sue's Herbs and Jellies is having a new flavor this week. And so that's just kind of extra exposure for you. Michelle's constantly checking our Facebook pages and checking up on our vendors to see what she can share from the Canal Market District, so that all of our followers and people that look there see that as well.
That's good. And I do have orange marmalade for this year.
That sounds delicious.
That sounds delicious. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much. I'll hope to see you sometime this season. Hopefully I can make the trip over. So have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much again. And second, everyone, have a wonderful evening, and we'll send out this recording this week.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay.